Let's start this a little different today. Have you ever had these moments where it felt like everything was in sync? It's like life is like a piano, right? You're playing all these notes and they're kind of clashing and there's these minor chords. It's like going, 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 but then all of a sudden, boom, there's like a perfect chord. Like all the notes are playing and the wave is just in sync. And it just is like, it feels so weird because most of life feels just kind of like king gong 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 gong. You're just kind of smashing into the sides, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, what is this? This weird, strange calm. And who lives there? Like, do other people experience this more? Because I sure don't. But fuck, man, it feels good. And I've had a lot of these moments over the years. I've kind of called them universe moments because I don't know what else to call them. It's just like, it's literally feels like the universe is looking back at you. It's like, and I don't know what I believe in higher powers or anything like that, but it just feels like the universe has got your back. Some people might call it God. I don't really know, but it feels like everything in your being is telling you to, like, this is one of those moments you need to pay attention to. This could be a big one. Look around, and I kind of had one of those the other day, and this might sound silly, but I was watching a movie. It's fantastic, and if you're gonna watch this movie too, I might give some spoilers, so maybe turn this off. It's called Life of Chuck, and I won't try and give too many spoilers, but there's this beautiful scene, and the scene was so good, and it changed, and it affected me so hard that I went and immediately found the script online and screenshotted the script. And there's the scene that hit me like really, really, really hard was there's a guy just walking down the street, and there's this lady playing the drums, and out of nowhere, he just kind of stops. She notices him walking, and he stops and puts down his briefcase, and then just starts to feel the beat, and then starts dancing to the beat, and she's drumming to the beat, and they have this like beautiful moment where they don't know each other, but she's drumming and he's dancing, and it's in unison. It's perfect. It just looks like, how did this happen? It's like birds flying through you. Like, how do they know when they're turning? How do they know? What is that? What is this thing that they're doing? And then about halfway through the dance, he grabs a girl from the audience, like, who's kind of dancing and grooving too. And and all three of them combined just have this moment where everything's in sync, and they're dancing, and it's beautiful. Like, and the drums, this isn't consistent. It's like, and it's like boom, it's like it changes constantly, but they all are in it. They're in that. They have it. They have this moment, and the part that hit me is again, these are all spoilers if you're gonna watch this movie, but when the dance is over, they all kind of get together and they're sitting under an umbrella, and the drummer goes, "What made you stop and put down your briefcase and start dancing? What made you stop and start dancing?" And the narrator kind of goes through this whole spiel, and he just goes, I don't know. And in the scene, I'm just gonna read it to you because it really, really hit me. Because after this, there's this whole narrator scene where he goes, as he passes a place where Tyler set up her drums, those two questions occur. Why did he stop to listen, and why did he start to dance? He doesn't know. And would answers make a good thing better? And that's what hit me. Will answers make a good thing better? And if you've listened to me for a while, there's this massive curiosity constantly where I'll overanalyze maybe everything in my life. I'm kind of doing it now. But that hit me, and it hit me like fucking right in the soul. It hit just my heart. And I got this like, this is going to sound silly, but I got this like kind of weird twitch kind of feeling. It almost feels like cold, like everything kind of pulls in together, like I need to pay attention to this moment. And I watched this a week ago, and it still kind of hits me where I just like, I don't know what the cause. It's not really like the shakes or anything, but it just kind of, it feels like it's just kind of, it's there, you know? And what I keep thinking about is like, do answers always make a good thing better? Do answers always make a good thing better? And I'm going to say it 12 more times. Like, do answers make a good thing better? And I've kind of, after a week of thinking about this, like, sometimes it makes things worse too. And there's a lot of examples I could use. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say them, but like the funny one that jumps to mind is like magic. If I know the answers, it ruins it. It kind of ruins that. And the hard part for me is like these universe kind of moments that I've had in the past is like, I don't know why they're there. And maybe if I did and I just knew it was like my brain creating meaning out of nothing, like if that was the answer, like would it ruin these moments? Maybe that's not the answer, you know. I don't know, and I just don't know if I had the answer if it would make it better or worse. And this is hard, and so the rest of that narration, I'm going to finish it for you. The rest of that scene was like, and would answers make a good thing better? And he goes, later he'll lose his ability to walk. Never mind dancing with little sister on the promenade. Later he'll lose his ability to chew food. Later he'll forget his wife's name. Later he'll lose his grip on the difference between being awake and sleeping, and enter a land of pain so great he will never. And enter a land of pain so great he'll wonder why God made the world. What he will remember occasionally is how he stopped and dropped his briefcase and began to move his hips to the beat of the drums, and he will think, This is why God made the world. Man, it's powerful. It's so powerful to me. And it's strange as like not a very religious person or not knowing how I really feel about like a higher being or God. But if I keep calling God like the universe, like something so big that it kind of encompasses you, and you're wondering why a moment like that, just stopping to dance, can feel so big. It's like you feel it all. I would say about 10 years ago, and I've done kind of a bad job at this lately, but I have this folder in my phone where I would collect these moments. I was like, I need to pay attention to this and maybe come back to it. And there's been a few. Like back in 2012, I'm just going to share some of these examples. Caroline White gave me The Alchemist, and I was like, I don't really read fiction. But as I was reading it, I was getting those like kind of shivery moments too. And what she told me reading The Alchemist was that she tries to read it every year, and every year it's like reading a brand new book because of how much change happens, and she's in a different space with the author or with the book, like with the protagonist. And I've found that to be very true. Early in the book, as I was chasing this dream, a pole vault thing, I don't even know it, and I don't know what the dream was, but I just was chasing something. I could relate. And then he found it like his love, and then he there was just all these moments that kind of intertwined, and that was a huge one where you're like, this just feels like it's too close to my core, right? I have this other one I talked about in 2013, where I had a bad meet at the Mount Sac relays, and afterwards I came back to the hotel. I was in the elite section doing the pro pole vault thing, and I just started running hills under this overpass, this bridge, and a guy in a van stopped, and I was just so mad. I took out my earphones. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And he's like, "What you doing?" I was like, I just told him I had this track meet. It didn't go really well, so I'm just running really hard and to just try and like do something. And without hesitation, he goes, "You're gonna have an impact on so many people without realizing it. You just keep doing what you're doing. You may be feeling in a lot of pain right now, but you don't see the impact you're having." And poof, fucking little shiver things happened again, and I'm like, what is this? Why is this stranger in a van coming to me and just having this conversation, saying all these nice things? And the part of me was expecting him to try and like sell me something, or what's this guy's motive? And he just gave me knucks at the end of this like 15-minute conversation. And he just smiled and drove away. And I sat there kind of like I'm sitting now. It's like it kind of brings you back to that place, and I don't know how to explain that. I don't know. And that was over 10 years ago, right? And then from there, I think I was a year, not even a year. I started the vlog in 2012, in that November, and this was 2013. So like 6 months making the vlog, and from there, like a book has came out of it. This podcast, a lot of mental health talks, all sorts of stuff where I have impacted people. I have. That guy was right in a lot of ways. And I'm not, and I sound braggy. I feel like I'm braggy when I say that, but I'm like, I've had these experiences in my life that have helped me, and it's this vlog and starting this and staying on that path has allowed me to be a vehicle to share things to an audience that maybe wouldn't have. I don't even like calling you audience, just a wider range of people who could see it. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. I got to read a few more because it's kind of hitting me hard. 2014, I met like Coach Rick, just from the vlog. Just a guy, a person who. Coach Rick told me he was held up in the hospital. He was having a rough time going through surgery, and what ended up happening was he was a massive pole vault fan and pole vaulter, and one of the best pole vaulters ever in his youth. He was breaking records and things like that, and I was making fart jokes in the vlog, and ended up he flew me out to his place, and without even hesitating, I didn't even know him. Like, yeah, let's go stay at your place. I don't know who you are. I mean, became one of my favorite people of all time, to the point where he was I invited him to my wedding. I'll do anything for that guy. And it just changed my life, some of the conversations we've had. Another one of those moments like, this is crazy. Bubba Sparks is another one around that time. In 2015, my friend Becky told me to read The Surrender Experiment. And that was another kind of wild one where it really made me look at how my thoughts were different. And every time when I was reading that book, I was like, this has all the answers. This has the things I've been looking for. The biggest one in there was learning that you are not your thoughts. You are what watches your thoughts. And then it threw me into this whole rabbit hole of, what is that then? Are you just awareness, checking out awareness? I don't know, but it just was. It's usually like, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like this place where you're looking for, where I'm looking for answers, or I don't know where to go, and then a thing or an event happens that just kind of knocks down the wall, and this flood of like options kind of pops in front of you, and you're like, whoa, yes, this feels like massive growth. I want to go that way, It's just that was a big one. At the same time, I read some Eckhart Tolle stuff. Yeah, there's just a bunch. I have stuff from Daniel Ryland. I know I'm probably losing you guys right now. Man, just meeting Daniel was kind of like that, where everything he just had a lot of. I felt very seen with him. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much to keep doing with this. Can I do 2 more? I'll do 2 more. There's this pole vault event I went to film. I lost money on it. I didn't really know how to price anything, and and then I realized I didn't price high enough, so I lost money on the trip. I lost money by working, which was frustrating. But the real gift of that wasn't like that. It was the fact that when I was there, I met a lady who worked at Google, and she saw some of my videos, and Google owns YouTube at that time. This was 2017, and she just goes, You have this gift. You have this gift of talking to the camera. You're funny. You're relatable. You know, the way I had my set, I don't even know. It was just my room. It wasn't even a set. She's like, you have pictures on the wall. It's very relatable. You know, you're easy to listen to. You're easy to watch. This is what you need to keep doing. And just somebody who went to school, not knowing what they want to do with their life. I still don't know what I want to do with my life. Fell into like teaching because it's like, I don't know what else to do. I had to pick something, so I ended up getting my undergrad in teaching. Still didn't know what I wanted to do. Wanted to keep pole vaulting. Got my master's in biomechanics. Fell into this video thing by filming myself with a GoPro and then buying like a kind of bigger, more professional setup, and then just still trying to figure out how to film stuff, and then having somebody of the caliber from like that works as a high up person at Google tell me, you're doing this. You need to find like here's exactly what she said. She's like, you need to work with a creative agency. You're so creative. You need to find a creative agency, and that would be a great fit for you, where you just come up with ideas, some crazy ideas, and create content, create things for people. I was like, that's a job. It was just kind of, it was validating at the time, and it was one of those like, that's exactly what I needed to hear in that moment. Like kind of those shivers again. It's just wild. And there's a bunch on here where I'm like sitting on an airplane and a lady comes up and they just tell me their story about how to keep going with the mental health. It's so important. Keep going with One Whole Life. It's so important. Keep going with this. It's so important. Keep going with this. It's so important. And there's just a lot that keeps pointing at this one whole life thing to keep doing this. And it's hard to keep it going. And I know these podcasts are just a lot of me rambling a lot. And I think a lot of the reason why I do it, one, for my kids so they can see like what I'm trying to do down the road. If they ever want it, I still like to think that I wish I had more video of my parents just talking more and growing up and talking about their struggles in life. You know, like what they were going through at a specific time. And then the other part is, if I keep doing this consistently, maybe it will start to be easy, kind of like training, and then it'll be easy to make like the next video, you know, like the ones I have in my head that I'd like to make, and to really give these universe moments kind of a thing, you know. But I haven't had one of those in a while, and watching this movie had me kind of tensing up, like, I need to pay attention to this big why moment, you know, is important. Like, if I knew why, would it change anything? Would it make me happier? You know, that kind of question. And it's an interesting thought. I'm still wrestling with it, and it's hit me really hard. It's like it's kicked me right in both balls with a wide foot. You know, it's kind of nuts. Also in that movie, and this might be another ruiner, but I like Walt Whitman and the poet, and he there's a whole scene in there where they're reading one of his poems, Songs of Myself. And then there's a scene where the kid comes up and asks the teacher, is like, what does I contain multitudes mean? Because in the poem he goes, do I contradict myself? And very well then, I contradict myself. And the whole idea of that is holding multiple beliefs, multiple things, being complex and messy as a human. And in the movie, I've never heard it put this way, and it was insanely beautiful. Was that she goes, what's between my hands? And she puts her hands on each side of his head, and he goes, I don't know. He's like, well, what's in there? And he goes, I don't know, people? She's like, yeah. What else? He goes, like, my brain? She's like, no. Yes, but What about thoughts and your feelings and your experiences and every person you've ever met and everything you've ever seen, everything you've ever smelled, everything you've ever sensed? All your senses are up in there. And every day, more is added to it. You're creating a universe inside of your head. And this universe is growing and growing and growing. It's getting bigger and more detailed and more complex and crazier and bigger and more information is growing. And it's just this universe is getting so big. And she goes, you contain multitudes. You contain a whole universe between my hands. Inside of you. You contain multitudes. And she kept saying it. You contain multitudes. And you could just see it. And I felt it too. That scene was so powerful. God, this is a good movie. You guys should watch it. But the kid walks away like lighter and feeling big and connected to everything. And the whole poem is about that. It's about being messy as a human and connecting with everybody else. And I've kind of had this idea one time. I get this meditating too, some of these universe moments. There was a moment where I was meditating on this. It's a Zen cone called Mu. And it doesn't really matter, but the idea was to help you kind of break some boundaries in your head. But the whole idea was, they asked if a dog has Buddha nature, and Buddha nature is like everything, right? And the response was no answer or no, right? Mu, that's what that means. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? That's supposed to confuse you, right? And while I'm meditating, I'm sitting there and I could just feel like this like pulsing wave, right? Which is kind of weird. Never had that before. This was early when I started meditating. And I was like, what does Mu mean? What does that? Does a dog have Buddha nature? No, but a dog is Buddha nature. So what is it? Like, how does this work? And then I got this thought like, I am the dog. That's how I left. I told my mom and my dad this. I'm like, I think I'm a dog. Like, I am the dog. And they're like, what? I was like, well, the dog's brain sees me. So there's part of me, how I live, how I interact inside of that dog. And I see the dog, and the dog is in me. And I'm the dog, and the dog is me, and vice versa. So you can't say when the dog is Buddha nature, or the dog has Buddha nature, because the dog is, and I am, and we're the same. And there's no difference there. It's all messy, and you can't really answer the question, right? Because it's messy like that. So it's strange, and I still don't think I'm explaining it very well. But this movie kind of helps, right? Like inside of your brain, you contain a universe of everybody and everything and every experience you've ever had in your entire life. And for that dog, my dog, every dog I've ever seen is inside of my universe, inside of my brain, because I contain multitudes. And everybody watching this has a different universe inside their brain, right? And you contain multitudes. And there's like this beauty of it, right? And I don't know, it makes you feel very big and connected. And I think I'm talking about this because it feels good. It feels good to hold on to this. And I don't know where I'm going with it, because it's like I don't know if I need to understand it. What I do know is I seem to respond to the world better when I feel connected to everybody and everything. And I wonder, there's a lot of research out there on mystical experiences with psychedelics and things like that, about how that changes you, and parts of your brain are connecting to different parts of your brain that haven't been connected before. And that's kind of what psychedelics do. They rewire your neural network, so you have these patterns, right? And it disrupts the patterns, and it connects to things that haven't been connected before. And it feels insane, like you're getting new information, because you're getting things that have never happened before. And it's kind of interesting in the same fact that when you learn something new, and I've had this experience, or when something's clicked where you've tried to do it. And this happens in sports a lot, where you're trying to do something, and then you try something crazy, wild, and different, and it works. And you have this like euphoric, amazing feeling of this massive growth happening, and it feels so fucking good. And that's kind of, I don't know if again, I'm trying to figure out the why. Will me figuring out this why make a good thing better? I don't know. Will it make it feel worse? It doesn't right now. But I do know what's going on in the brain. I have tried to figure that out, and I've followed it. Where, yeah, universe moments, kind of massive growth, new things being connected, which is really cool, right? It makes you wonder if a child, because when I look at my kids, they're growing so fast. Like my son Luke just started crawling like 2 weeks ago, and now he's standing up on things and scaring the tits out of me and his mom. Standing up on everything and just smiling at you until he falls down, and then, it's like you kind of want to just put him in a bubble or strap his legs together so he can't do that. He's going to give us heart attacks. But imagine if every time he stood up on something new or got up, he had that feeling of like that universe kind of moments connecting, massive growth feeling of feeling like you contain multitudes. It's kind of beautiful, right? Like it makes you want to allow them to do that all the time. And I do. And I do. And their universes are growing. And I think it's a beautiful way of thinking about it. Their little universes are growing so fast. And if the Big Bang happens the way, people said it has, where it expanded really quick and then it kind of slowed down, that's a kid in a nutshell, right? I think all parents recognize that in a heartbeat. It's insane. And so I'm revisiting, I haven't seen this poem in a long time from Walt Whitman, where he's like, do I contradict myself? Very well, then I contradict myself. I contain multitudes. And that's crazy, because you have this universe, but you also have, and again, I'm in Minnesota, so there's this constant talk about all this ice stuff going on, and it's messy. It's super messy. It's like on one side, yes, I don't like, the fraud that's happening. And is it because of illegal immigrants? I don't really know. Do I want it to be fair, where we're not really supporting people who are here illegally? But are they human beings? Yes. Do I want them to be treated the way ICE seems to be treating them? No. Do I have to pick black or white? I sure hope not. And it feels like a contradiction, and it gets messy, and it feels chaotic, and I don't like it, but I think it helps you grow, and I contain that, right? I contain this watching all this shit going on, and feel the same way as a parent. You're like, no, I want you to watch 0 screens ever, but are you learning things from Miss Rachel, and can you do sign language better than me? Yeah, I don't know any sign language, but you're talking to me with your hands. So there's this thing to that, like, there's this, I am a walking contradiction. And it's messy. I keep saying that. I think where I've gotten to over the last week, which has kind of helped me, again, and I think I'm saying this because maybe it'll help you. Maybe that guy in the van is I don't know. I don't know what the heck that guy was, but because of him, I think he was a huge step into continuing to do this, and that's wild. It's like the universe is like, this is going to help a lot of people grow. This is going to help a lot of people feel what I'm feeling. And maybe this is what people say when they talk about God. I don't really know. I don't think there is a man in the sky, but I think it's just, I just know what it feels like. And I don't know why it feels that way. And this is what I'm wrestling with, this contradiction stuff now. Like, I'm massively into curiosity, but will it make it better if I knew why? I don't know. It's tricky. And I keep going, how do I sit here more? How do I sit in this more? Because I feel good. It's like when you're in it. I feel like this when I'm in nature too. Maybe you do too. But when you're in it, when you're in life, and those waves are like in sync. Even in the chaos, you understand there's some kind of a structure here, kind of holding you. So I don't know. How do I sit here more? And do I want to? Do I need some space to come back to it, or will it not feel like growth anymore? It will just feel like the same all the time. And can you sit in this all the time? That's the other question. I don't know that answer either. But I know there's been stretches in my life where I sit here and everything feels attainable and wonderful and beautiful. And you just want to kind of like, I'm overflowing with good feelings and I want to give this to more people. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel like this before I started this podcast. I felt kind of like, fuck, I got to make another one. And I don't have to. There's something in me that feels like it needs to make it. And I don't know what that is either. Maybe that's a conversation for another podcast. Where does creativity and motivation come from? That's another very interesting question. I don't have the answers. If you guys have any insight, if you're listening to this, let me know. But yeah, maybe that's the last thing. I'll end on this. If you have any of these moments, what does it feel like to you? What do these moments feel like to you? Where it just feels like you're in sync. And what was the situation where that happened? And how did it impact you, I guess, is the third question to that. So, yeah, a little different today. I appreciate you guys listening this far. Life is meant to be experienced. Curiosity will get you there. See you in the next one.